I relied on one of these, the weightlifting belts. I know majority of the people watching this video love these things when they squat. Listen, I'm gonna tell you to ditch this thing because the only thing that you're neglecting is a strong core, the entire core though. That's what I'm talking about, okay? So the front, the sides, and also the back sides. I'm gonna break down in this video 3 movements, 3 areas to work on to build an actual back brace as you should, instead of relying on a weightlifting belt to get a good squat. If you think about it, when you're in a squat, as you're going down, right? People think about you wanna squeeze the core, brace the core as you're going down, okay? And the key thing is to keep a flat back on the backside, right? But also as I'm coming up, I'm squeezing every part of my core. I'm squeezing the sides. I'm making sure that I'm stable, going flat down the line. My back is flat. I'm trying to explode from the bottom, right? But I'm also right at the bottom. My low core is firing, right? So 3 movements to work on. The first is going to be the front of the leg, the hip flexors, rectus femoris. Simplest way that we work on it is hip flexion. What is hip flexion? Don't need to break it down to you guys, but just for athletes watching, people want to understand how to actually train the lower ab, but also the hip flexors. Okay, we just start with L sit-ups, and that's the easiest progression. I'm gonna show 3 different steps within each area, okay? So L sit-up, hands out in front, raising, controlling the way back down. That's just an L sit-up. If this is too difficult, you slide back, like a leg raise, okay? The key thing is to go hands in front though. You can start here, just going single leg, and then eventually you get to a point where you can hold yourself up and you go single leg. And this is another progression where you're going higher, being able to hold an entire L sit, right? But if you're not there yet, okay, we can also do a gar hammer raise. The easiest way is just hanging from a bar, thinking about the knees staying at 90 degrees and then raising, boom. To target the hip flexor more, touch the knees together and raise continuously, right? Building up a good burn, that's the idea. But that's gar hammer. And now again, we're working the whole front side right now. That's the main thing we're focusing on. You can either start at the L sit. If you have no equipment, go on a bar, gar hammer raise. The last example that I'll show is with a kettlebell hip flexion. Single leg hip flexion, right? Using any type of step up, any staircase, using the wall, whatever you have, and just raising the leg, straight leg, keeping the other leg completely locked out, right? Simplest way to gain strength up and down the chain here. Once you can gain strength, once you have the ability to then start loading the movement, we work on raises with load, using a kettlebell, using whatever you have. Boom. Keeping control on the way down. Making sure that my other leg is completely locked out. And these movements are pretty much 10 times better than you just doing a V-up or a sit-up or, you know, any of the simple ab movements that you think that you're doing that are gonna help you. Because if you think about it, all of the weight is onto the floor. But when you stand up and you're working on stuff like this, the load is being created, the more tension is being created as you get higher with your leg, okay? Which is forcing you to flex the muscles that pick up the legs, which will be firing deep into a squat whenever you're accelerating out of a sprint. So that's all movements for the front side of the core, and that's not the core entirely. You wanna work the sides now, okay? So we're gonna break that down. QL extension. The easiest way to start with working on the side core muscles is a QL extension. We can go on to a back extension. Probably most of you guys are gonna start just with the floor alone. This is probably the #1 movement that I use to balance out my pelvis. So a lot of people think that, you know, again, they're relying on that belt, but their pelvis is on the line and that's where the squat is crooked, okay? So you wanna think about hands on head, butt completely against the wall, chest is up. I'm sliding down as deep as I can, trying to get my elbow to touch the ground while looking up, and then I'm pressing back up. What you're doing is actually opening up the muscle that attaches from the pelvis to the ribs, okay? And you're strengthening it at the same time, right? Think about it. Stretch, deep stretch, strengthen. I'm firing that muscle right here. Boom, pressing back up. So for any of you athletes, you can literally start doing this as you're watching this. Get up out of bed, stop scrolling, get rolling, and start repping with me and feel the differences that you have between sides. You'll definitely have imbalances because most sports, you don't necessarily train both sides with the same intent. So that's the easiest way to start with the QL. Then we're gonna go on to the back extension. This is how we can actually start to really gain strength and really balance out the pelvis. That's the real important thing. So everybody should be using a back extension. If you're an athlete, if you're someone who just likes to squat, or maybe you're a bodybuilder, doesn't matter, use one of these things, okay? Because it's 10 times better than you just trying to rely on body weight exercises to get the same effect. This 45-degree slant is where you're gonna make the most gains. So again, we're on the same topic. We're on the side of the core, the QL, okay? There's two different options you can do with your feet, okay? Just to show you guys what I'm talking about. You can either go outside foot behind you or outside foot behind you, right? Inside foot in front, or vice versa. What I like to do is if I'm hitting 2 sets or 3 sets or 4, side that way, one side this way, where the outside foot is in front, the inside foot is behind, okay? Bend your knees, sink your hips into the middle of the back extension, hand on the head. This elbow is gonna reach out as I go down like a rainbow. I'm gonna reach and try to touch the floor, get as deep as I possibly can, right? Think about that elbow reaching right at the end, and then I'm squeezing as I come up. So it's much more difficult than the one on the ground, but you can make way faster gains with it. I'll just show the backside and what it should look like. So again, bending the knees, hand on head, reaching, always getting the same amount of reps on both sides, pressing back up. You'll still notice imbalances for sure. You may even notice my imbalances a little bit. Reaching out, the elbow, boom, pressing back up. Okay, and that's the QL extension. You can start to load it as well, the kettlebell that we were using earlier, or a dumbbell, and just be holding the weight as you're going down. You can even do these standing. Like let's just say you don't have the back extension. Okay, fine, boom. Reach as deep as you can, slide the weight down the leg, press back up. But you only want to think about what is actually firing. Am I using my elbow to pull me, or am I actually using the side core muscle? Think about it. Bring that mind-muscle connection to it. Boom, right? Those are examples for building the side, okay? So we built the front, the side, now we're gonna build the back of the core, which most people neglect, okay? All you guys are doing these planks here, right? Well, what's the plank for the back side? It's the back extension. It's that simple, right? And that's why I keep emphasizing you guys, every gym has it. So go to the gym, get on a back extension. This is a backside plank. Hold it for 2 minutes, good luck. Good luck, hold it, I dare you. It's crush, squeeze the glutes, make sure that your hips are just below this, if that makes sense. So you don't want to get it too high. And I'm just working here, right? This is the most beginner way that people can start rebuilding their low back, which is usually the main issue with a belt, right? Because the belt is like, oh yeah, my low back's fine. I have my belt on when I'm squatting. This is how you literally build that belt, the imaginary belt, building up the low back erectors, building up the glutes, the hamstrings, etc. Hold it for 2 minutes. The next level is just getting slow reps, getting down a little bit, right? Little by little, and then squeezing the glutes as you come up. I already feel tension in my low back just by doing this. Real light movement. And you'll notice it too. If you're at the gym right now, let's say maybe you go to the gym after this, you're gonna be like, yo, he wasn't joking. Like I'm rolling already, feeling my low back and glutes fire. Me, someone who's mastered the back extension for a long period of time. Then you wanna get as deep as you can. Deeper and deeper and deeper into the bottom. Reach, feel the hamstrings stretch, feel the glutes stretch, reach the elbows to the floor. Again, this is just body weight alone. There's so many progressions with this. Then you can start to get some tempo into it, thinking about 3-4 seconds on the way down. So I'm going down, and then I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, up. I don't go past because there's no tension. I stay at that 45. I'm getting as deep as I possibly can, reaching, boom, coming back up. The next progression would probably be a single leg isometric. So I'm just on my one leg, and I'm holding. This is hard. Try to do a minute hold on each side. Your low back will be on fire. Those are 2 examples, right? And most people are gonna be extremely weak here, like I said earlier. You guys are just doing planks. And all you PTs and your chiropractors just told you to do the planks. Hit the back extension plank, hit the backside plank. It's so important. So again, single leg, right? Then we start to get into loading the movement. I would just go 10 pounds in each hand, just like this, real light, right? Continuously. Just getting high reps. High repetitions is way better than you loading the movement and then you waking up the next morning with like too much fatigue, right? Because the low back erectors are very small muscles down your low back and spine, okay? And you don't want to flare them up, just like how you wouldn't do a plank for 10 minutes the first time you did a plank. So you want to think of it like that. As you start to load, I would probably get 20 full range of motion reps with just your body weight alone to then be like, okay, I'm comfortable loading. Once you start to load, okay, this kind of gets to the advanced athlete level, really building up posterior chain strength, you start to add a barbell, okay? I'd probably go from 10s, like I said earlier, 10-pound dumbbells to then 20, maybe even 30, probably 25, and then start to add that barbell. The easiest way is literally just to hold it out in front of you. Go down as deep as you can, boom, press back up. Very, very simple. Again, this is just all progressions, right? But again, the back extension, I will stand true to this my whole life, is literally the best way to build the backside. And it's so easy. You literally can use a piece of equipment. Just getting as deep as I can, pressing back up. Again, single leg is advanced, right? That's probably the hardest. And most guys shouldn't even be doing it. But if you want to get to that top speed level, this is improving speed 100%. And I'll break down why right at the end. But right, even myself can probably get 5 clean reps with a single leg. But that's all the progressions with the back extension. Make it as simple as I possibly can for you. Isometric, slow range of motion reps, short range of motion reps, slow, loading, little bits at a time. Never rush into this. If you're relying on the belt, like I said earlier on in the video, you're just causing yourself to be set up with hip flare-ups, impingements, which I know most of you have, impingements, right? Lower back pain, you probably can't even squat all the way down like this. What you want to think about, what I just did in this video, right, is that I built here, here, and not just strength, mobility too. It was a stretch and then strength. Low back strength to be able to finally, and you can test this out for yourself, go to the gym, hit all 3 of these, then go squat. And tell me if you need that back brace still. And I'm much more flat. My low back is firing. I'm much more prepared to be able to handle this. I can sit here all day long. That's the goal that you should get to. It shouldn't be, I need my belt to squat to 90 degrees with 400 pounds on my back and break my hips. That's not the idea. You want to build a sustainable back brace within training so that squats feel good and that you constantly don't have these low back flare-ups. I hope this video helped. Actually implement it. I hate people that just watch videos. I hate people that just watch videos and don't implement. Okay, and you should hate those people too. It's literally right here for you. I'm giving you all the information, all the jazz in front of you. You can go rep it out, watch the form, understand it, break it down, okay? Let me know your feedback. Let me know in the comments. If there's any other issues that you want me to talk about, let them know. We'll break them down in the next videos. If you want to work with me, check out the links below. And as always, stay locked in.